Hello, everybody. It is Friday. Yes, it is. Welcome to Friday. How are you doing? Welcome to Friday. I am so excited to have you here. Where's my headset? Boom. It is Friday, Friday, Friday. It is. It's been a crazy week, but you have made it all the way to Friday. And I am so proud of you that you have. Hello, Kitty. Happy Friday. How was your day? What are you all grateful for this Friday? This Friday night. Adele and Dazzle are here. Dazzle, it is treat time. I am grateful to have caught up with so many store owners today. I have been on the phone a lot today. A lot on the phone today. Truly, a lot. I've talked to a lot of people today. A lot of people. And that's been good. I like talking to people. Now I'm talking to you. Here we are at the end of week 77, 78. The end of week 77, 78. Only one more to go. 6 down, 1 to go. You can do it. You can. You've made it this far. You have made it this far. You have. I am so happy that you have made it this far. There's so much going on. Pretty sure that's right. Give me 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry, Kitty. I'm sorry. The whole now vaccine mandate thing is really going to push that. There's going to be more of that. There is going to be more unrest. And sadly, there's going to be people pushing for that unrest. There's going to be people in positions of leadership. People in positions of leadership that are going to be pushing for that unrest with this. And or civil disobedience of it, and that is wrong. That is just wrong. It just pisses me off. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, I am frustrated by that. And I am frustrated, and I'm sorry you had to deal with that. But that's something we're all going to have to deal with. Something we're all going to have to deal with a little bit more in the short run. I think it will get better in the long run. It will get better. Views change, especially when the anti-maskers and the the COVID is fake thing, when someone close to them actually gets it and gets it bad, not a mild case, but bad. And so I am, not that I wish that on people, but that is the direction that they are headed in. That is the direction they are headed in. We are broadcasting tonight on both Facebook and YouTube. Any problems with Facebook, hop on over to YouTube. I'm going to get started tonight. We start the program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start every night. Tonight, we are on page 162. Good morning. I know it seems like everyone left without you for the party, and those stepsisters suck, but us woodland creatures are on your side. Yay! I'm glad your last hesitant employee got their shot today. That is awesome. We're going to see more. This is going to create more applicants, actually, as the big guys. And keep in mind, the big guys, so Walmart, Target, all your grocery stores are going to fall under this rule. Okay, all those employees, all your chain restaurants, because this law, this rule actually is accumulative. It is not a per location. So it's not like if your local Chili's has, 30 workers or working for them or 50 workers, that they don't that the rule doesn't apply to them. It is going to apply. They are going to use the connection rule, and it applies. It's not like there's 30 workers at your local McDonald's and everything. They are using the connection rules to really ratchet this up and get this going. Um, it is, I understand people's concern, but with all that is happening, I mean, this isn't like people dying from the regular flu, and this is just different. This is just different. But I don't know 100% how to help all these people. The hesitant people get over that. I am not perfectly versed in that. I because logic doesn't work. The problem is in today's day and age. If you look at today versus the polio vaccine, when Elvis saved the world from polio, there is so much more misinformation out there. There's so much more incorrect information, and it spreads like that. Um, and it's very easy to find. If you just do a quick search for issues with the vaccine, you'll come up with a million facts. There was a restaurant in Massachusetts today that has a vaccine mandate that you must to dine inside. You must be vaccinated, and it is their rule. And they have been the woman who owns it has been harassed to no end by the non-believers, for lack of a better term, and it's awful. It's awful. But that does bring up another marketing. One of the trending things, because it trends there before it trends anywhere, before it trends in stores with masks, is vaccine cards, vaccine card holders. The vaccine card holders are now a hot trending selling item. So that may be something you want to start to carry in your store. Just throwing that out there. It is big business on Etsy right now. It is big business on Etsy right now. And you might want to bring in some of those, like people brought in masks and everything. Right, the internet didn't exist. I mean, the phone exists, the newspaper. You got two newspapers delivered to your house. You got a morning and evening paper sometimes, and you had the local coffee shop or watering hole where people would gather and talk about things. Um, but there was I still believe that the underlying, in most places in this country, the underlying sense of community of your neighbor, of your people, is still out there. Okay, I still believe that is out there, and people want to do right by people. Um, and people care about other people, and so I'm hopeful that this moves along. I know there's going to be lawsuits about it and everything else, but quite honestly, um, they're on really firm ground with the lawsuits, with getting sued on this. The actual only thing, the biggest weakness in the argument for the work mandate, um, is that they didn't apply it to all companies. So, if I were a television lawyer that I am, the television lawyer that I could be, advising the Labor Department and OSHA on this, I would say that it would hold up better if it were applied to all companies, okay, all employers within the U.S. or something, because I think that shows a level of discrimination. Your part of it is it an undue burden, and the it's not an undue burden to ask them to do that. It may be an undue burden to ask smaller companies to pay for their workers to have time off to go get vaccinated or to get tested, which is what the rule is going to call for. It requires you to pay them during that time. But the that's the biggest. If I were armchair lawyering this, that's how I would sue. Is that it should apply. It is ineffective, which would just delay it. They would rewrite it so it would affect everybody. If they won that argument in court. Hey, no, Angie's with us. Florida Angie on the road. OSHA rules actually can apply to every company. OSHA and the Labor Department can control everybody. OSHA, that's the little thing, is that people think OSHA doesn't apply to them, but OSHA does. OSHA rules and workplace safety do apply to everybody. You aren't allowed to have an unsafe workplace just because you're a small workplace. For just in simple examples. So you're not allowed to use unsafe equipment and other things just because you're a small company. So OSHA can apply. But OSHA ultimately is so underfunded. It is ridiculous. One of the things that is going to be in this rule is penalties, okay, for not complying with the rule, penalties to the company, which can be $14,000 per incident, okay, is expected to be the amount of the fine to the company for employing somebody that is not getting weekly tested or vaccinated. United came out today and they are furlough isn't the word, but they are all their unvaccinated employees, even the ones who claim religious exemption. So all the employees that claim religious exemption to getting the vaccine are going to be put on unpaid leave. So United is separating them out and won't allow them to work. United Airlines. You're going to see this at more and more companies because I don't want to be on the wrong side of this. But these aren't going to be employees that are going to be able to collect unemployment. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on with this. So I'll keep you up to date on it. There's a lot of stuff going on with it. And most are cautiously. Most companies are cautiously like, okay, thank you for taking the burden off of us. Thank you for taking the burden off of us as a company is where most companies are falling on this. Yes, you're going to find those companies that are anti-vax from the top down, and those are going to get involved in the lawsuits and other things. It's going to get interesting. One of the legal reviews, let me just run this down because this one broke it down into 5 points. It's expected that you're going to have 75 days to comply with this once it's issued under the things, which it'll be expected to be issued very soon. It will a emergency temporary standard can be in effect for 6 months. Okay, so once it is issued, it can be in effect for 6 months. After that time, it must be replaced by a permanent OSHA standard, which must undergo a formal rulemaking process involving a typical notice and comment period. So here are some big things that are unanswered questions as of right now. Will it count remote employees? And it is expected that unless the emergency temporary standard specifically addresses remote employees, employees working remotely will not be covered by it. Okay. Um, One of the big things is will OSHA require companies to obtain proof of vaccination? Because if OSHA requires that, you're then required to keep that under OSHA's rules for 30 years. OSHA requires you to keep documentation of things for 30 years. Excuse me, the duration of their employment plus 30 years. Uh, and it's unclear what type of testing will be required. And it is not expected that employers will be required to pay for testing, although it is expected that you will have to pay employees time for them to go get tested. So you may not be required as an employer to pay for testing, okay, although they could mandate that in the order. But you are required under the Fair Labor and Wage laws to pay the employee for testing, to go get tested. Okay. And so that it is a big thing. We will see where this goes. Ultimately, I think it's a good thing because, even today, you're starting to hear about people who are going to start quitting their jobs or know that they work for a big company and are like, I have to go find another job. You're already hearing anecdotal evidence of that out there. And so this is a big to do. This is a big deal. Um, but I think the bigger deal will also be school systems like LA, school systems around the country moving forward with the requirement. And if they drop the age, which is expected by the end of the year, if they gain FDA approval for, let's say, all school-age children by the end of the year, that will change things yet again. So, I mean, this is a constantly moving target. We are at our next new normal. And as we advance through this. So just know that and know that that's the world we're working in. So that's what's happening with that. So that is a thing to keep in mind. That is a thing to keep in mind. I know this is big. There will be a lot more on this next week. There will be a lot more on this next week as companies decide what the response will be. But I think a lot of the companies, take Walmart and Target, for example. I've said it before. I think their current standard puts them in legal jeopardy. I think their standard that only office workers need to be vaccinated leaves them a duty of care, open to a duty of care suit by their store level employees that you don't care about us. So this is incredibly complicated, and I am no more than I've watched LA Law and Law and Order and other legal dramas. Okay, I am not a lawyer. I only know the facts versus what I think, and I'm telling you, I'm trying to separate that out here as we talk. But I think as the dominoes fall into place next week, as companies craft their public response to this, it will get very interesting. But I think you're going to have more people like your employee today, Kitty, who choose to now's the time. I'm going to go get vaccinated. We've had some do that, inching our numbers up, but it is that is what we're all facing. That is what we're all facing. But you're still standing. We're here on Friday of week 77, 78. You'll be here for week 78, 79, and we will continue to move this forward and I'll continue to update you on how this affects you and your community as I know more. You know what I do know? This video and everything I talk about, goes over to nerds.org/resale strong by noon the next day. Noon, I tell you. It's all over there. The files, the links, the references, they're all there, including a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yeah, you know what you can do? Ring the bell. Ring it so you know when a new one drops. You can also share it with all your friends in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody make it across the other side. I'm here every night at More 8 Than Ish live in the Nards private Facebook group. But if you have a question in between, just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. That's how we roll. Tonight, we started on page 162, if you were not here at the top of the program. Good morning. I know it seems like everyone left without you for the party, and those stepsisters suck. But us woodland creatures are on your side. Good night. Our good night tonight is good night. I know it seems like everyone is at the Prince's Ball all the time, but it's okay to go home before midnight. Kick off your shoes. There's your graphics, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. We will party again. We will party in person. And when we do, I'm going to be there with you. But until then, and until tomorrow night at More 8 Than Ish, know that you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. It's time for dinner.